Today we dive into the world of a local metal band named Nerd Neck. That and more on our 10th WAtv episode of the year. Good morning, Wheaton Academy. I'm Catherine Swallow, and we just passed Halloween and are already entering into our 12th week of the school year.
I'm Madison Cavan, and it's Monday, November 2nd. Thanks for joining us. Let's get you caught up on a few announcements.
The IHSA announced that boys swimming is still a go for the winter season. The boys swimming sectionals are scheduled for Saturday, February 20th. Although we still don't have a swimming team, we will take students who are participating on club teams, and they can represent Wheaton Academy at the sectional meet. If you're interested in participating, please contact Mr. Mack in room 229 or email him.
The Wimshram course guide is now available online. This guide contains course descriptions and videos for over 60 courses we are offering this year for Wimshram. It also includes information regarding internships and the link to apply to an internship. Wimshram course registration dates and times are as follows. For seniors, it will be next Monday, November 9th at 6 p.m. Junior registration will begin on Wednesday, the 11th at 6 p.m. Sophomores will be on Monday, the 16th between 8 to 11 a.m., and the freshmen will be on the same day between 1 and 4 p.m.
With Election Day on Tuesday, we have a slightly different schedule this week. Tuesday will be an off-campus learning day with asynchronous learning. Please expect work from each of your teachers. On Wednesday, we'll have a 7th period class day. And then on Thursday and Friday, we will be back to normal with block periods 4 through 7 on Thursday and 1 through 3 on Friday.
In national news this week, the long-anticipated second season of my favorite show, Disney's The Mandalorian, debuted on Friday night on Disney+. This space western story follows the adventures of a Mandalorian warrior and a cute little guy known as the Child. What makes this binge-worthy series different from most is that Disney releases an episode once a week, forcing those interested to wait and anticipate what is still to come. I'll say that the first episode was pretty epic, so if you haven't seen it yet, go give it a watch.
For the entire month of November, to celebrate Thanksgiving, but also to find some of the positive blessings from this past year, we're releasing photos and statements of people from our WALK community, calling it 30 Days of Thankfulness. You can find these posted each day on our Instagram account at @TheRealWATv. Today's thankfulness comes from Whitney Gabriel, a freshman. She says, "I'm thankful for the chance to be learning at an in-person school and to have the ability to attend Wheaton Academy."
Our cross-country teams finished their seasons at sectionals this past Saturday. The boys finished 6th overall, and the girls finished in 3rd. Congrats to all the runners on a tremendous season.
Last Friday, Mr. Holtrop and Miss Spittler, along with a couple of their assistants, burst into classrooms in full costumes and plenty of energy. Matthew Johnson was there to capture the moment.
What's up, Wheaton Academy? My name is Matthew Johnston. Last Friday, you might have had your room raided by Mr. Holtrop, Mr. Rivera, and Miss Spittler.
Happy Halloween!
Mr. Holtrop would start off by running and screaming, pretending that he was being abducted by an alien. Next, Mr. Rivera and Miss Spittler would run in with their astronaut costumes. They brought candy, games, and fun into the rooms that they raided. The main challenge they brought for students was where they had a bucket with strings intertwined going back and forth throughout the bucket, and a bunch of little finger spiders at the bottom, and the students had to take a clothespin, catch a spider, and pull it up through the bucket as many times as they could before the time ran out.
Pretend these are space stars. I'm like a little gremlin behind you. I've got like one else. You can do this. Don't let the bubbles be a distraction. They're not. I'm good. You gotta do what you can do. I'm good. You got this.
The student with the most spiders out of the bucket would win a prize.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad. How'd it go? How'd you do?
A $15 Starbucks gift card. I asked them a few questions about why they were doing this.
It's a surprise for everybody to make the day better. And we like that. Because school is really hard right now, and this breaks up the day and makes a lot of fun for the kids because it's just tough to get through this COVID thing. 6 feet apart.
Oh.
No, 2 feet!
Oh my gosh.
And how would you like our little pop-up game there?
I loved it. That was amazing.
Did we make your day?
You did.
See? And that's what it's all about.
For most of you who had them crash your room, you probably thought it was pretty fun. For this reason, I would like to thank the three of them for bringing some more Halloween spirit into the day.
Okay, so when we were obviously in WAtv class, when they came in, I was editing my video. It was really quiet, and all of a sudden, I hear screaming, and this green blob is running at me. I almost fell out of my chair. I was so freaked out when Mr. Holtrop came, and the music was super loud, but I absolutely loved the energy.
That's awesome. I was actually out of this class. I was filming. But then I was in stats. And then Evan Shelton comes in, like, looks in the door, and he's like, "What are you guys doing for Halloween?" I'm like, "Babysitting." He goes, "I have something better." And then Miss Wolfel, Mr. Holtrop, Miss Spittler all come running in, and they're like, candy, and they're like, lights, music. And then we played this game. It was awesome. So.
Wow, that's amazing. When I was actually taking an AP Chem test while the room next to us was
Nice.
having that crazy celebration, and I was like, "What? Why are they doing this still?" It was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. We have over 660 students here at Wheaton Academy. How many people do you actually know? And better yet, how many students do you know little or nothing about?
What is up, Wheaton Academy? I'm Peter Canaris from WAtv, and I'm here to start a new series where we get to meet one randomly selected person that goes to WA and get to know them a little bit better. Let's get into it.
What's up, Wheaton Academy? I'm Kayce Nichols. I'm a freshman, and my favorite thing about WA is probably the community and the friends that you make along the way. If I could change one thing in the world, I probably would change the suffering and try to make it all go away. If I had $1 billion, the first thing I would do is I'd probably buy 2 plane tickets for me and my best friend to go to Paris and just view Paris for a week. That'd be really fun. If I could get my dream job right now, it would be to be any kind of actor on any kind of TV show. I think it'd just be fun. If I could act on one show, it probably would either be any superhero show, be it like The Flash or Arrow. I love the suspense and the stuff that happens in that show, so that'd probably be my answer.
Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Kayce. If you like this series, let me know. From WAtv, I'm Peter Canaris, signing out.
I actually happen to be more of an introvert, so like meeting new people can be hard for me, but when people come up to me, I'm like, "Oh, cool, new friends." So I tend to meet people that way from people coming to me. Like, I don't know if that's the same for you.
Oh, no, it's definitely the same for me. I actually get nervous around new people that I'm not actually comfortable with. But the funny thing is because of COVID, we don't actually, I don't run into that many people often, so I don't even know who's still going here and who's not. So when I see someone in the hallway that I haven't seen this entire year, I'm like, "Oh, you're here? That's pretty interesting." So yeah.
With many restaurants talking about closing down due to COVID restrictions, Shane's Deli seems to be moving in the opposite direction.
I'm here at Shane's Deli, a beloved hangout of the Wheaton community. It's a family-friendly restaurant that offers all types of sandwiches and more. But the community had lost their deli due to unfortunate circumstances. But hope has been found. I talked to owner Eric Schlickman, who says the deli will be returning.
We have done some renovations to it, gearing up for reopening. 4 friends and I bought Shane's Deli when we heard it was closing. We knew that the property owner was going to demolish this building and the building to the north. I closed the business December 8th of 2019. Everyone was so distraught about losing Shane's Deli.
I'm sad that they closed. I love Shane's. They have the best sandwiches around and the biggest Diet Cokes ever, so I love them.
Shane's Deli I actually really enjoy. I used to go there all the time after church and just enjoy a sandwich from my favorite place.
It's a fun place. I missed it while it was closed, and I'd love to see them reopen.
When I bought Shane's Deli, I didn't realize what we bought into. We bought into legacy, and people grew up in this building. There's so much history here. So it was hard. Long story short, it was hard. It was the spring of 2020 when I went to the landlord and asked him, "Hey, when do I need to get my equipment out of Shane's?" And the development that he was going to build, he actually decided not to go through with it. And so in that conversation, he asked me if I wanted to renew a lease in the same place. And I immediately said yes. On social media, I put "coming home 2020.
So I am very anxious for them to reopen and get my morning Diet Coke routine going.
I'm super excited because now I have somewhere to go for lunch after church.
Mr. Schlickman is hoping to open Shane's at the end of October. Thanks to his efforts and favorable circumstances, the Wheaton community will be finding itself back at Shane's soon. This is Isabel Kayce for WAtv signing out.
As you might have guessed, with indoor dining restrictions in place in DuPage, Shane's Deli, along with other local restaurants, have had to shift their strategies moving forward. According to their Facebook page, Shane's Deli is still expecting to open soon and is currently in the process of hiring new staff. Be sure to check in on our progress in the next couple of weeks. For over 10 years, Wheaton Academy has produced an arts journal to showcase student work. My co-anchor Catherine Swallow has more on this.
The Arts Journal is bursting at the seams with the creativity of Wheaton Academy students. From poetry to photography, it's definitely worth checking out. But what is the Arts Journal? Good question. I talked to Isabella Agnello and Kate Johnson to find out.
The Arts Journal is a journal that Wheaton Academy puts out every year where you can submit any creative work that you've done.
They can submit anything from a picture of a ceramic piece or poems or short stories or photography even, just whatever art they've been working on. So the Arts Journal is viewed by a college, DePaul.
A college class reviews arts journals from high schools, and they choose one or two pieces that they think are exemplary, and the creators of those pieces will receive recognition and an award.
We pass out the Arts Journal to everybody in the school if they want one. You could start submitting your art now, and you send them to journal@wascholar.org.
The deadline is December 11th, which is the week before finals. If you have any questions, you can contact me or Isabella Agnello or Mrs. Main on campus.
You can start submitting things right now. If you want to submit something, send a PDF to journal@wascholar.org. The deadline is December 11th, and if you have any questions, feel free to email Isabella, Kate, or Mrs. Main. This is Catherine Swallow from WATv signing out. So last year, I actually submitted something to the Arts Journal, but it ended up being too long, so they couldn't put it in. So I might do a revamping of that and then submit it this year. Have you seen the Arts Journal?
I actually haven't. I've never really been more of an art person.
That's
I'm more like black and white type person. But if you put your thing in, I will definitely be willing to look at it.
I will get you
That
a
sounds
copy.
awesome. Oh, thank you very much.
Andrew Gatto has been involved in concert choir, men's ensemble, and performed as a prince in MTV's performance of Into the Woods. Kenna Tolman reveals to us what Andrew's new passion is.
In January 2020, junior Andrew Gatto and some friends came together and formed a metal band called Nerdneck. I had the opportunity to talk to Andrew and the two other band members about the history of Nerdneck and what it means to be a part of the band.
Me and Jacob wanted to start a band for years and years. But at the time, all I knew was vocals, and so as soon as I started playing guitar, me and Jacob just started going after it. You know, he finally pulled out his drum sets after a long hiatus of not playing, and we were obviously terrible, but I just remember one time we played a song, and it was on time, and we just looked at each other and we were like, this is awesome. This is what we want to do.
Me and Andrew I talked about starting a band for a long time, and then it kind of really came into action when he got a guitar, and then we started playing together. And then I met David, and I'm like, we need to start jamming together.
Jacob and Andrew wanted to start a band for a while, and then when I met Jacob and he figured out I played the guitar, he was like, hey, want to come jam? And that was how it started.
So how we came up with the name Nerdneck was basically me and my friend Jacob in middle school. We just always used to say this stupid insult to each other, saying like, shut up bro, you got nerd neck. And so when we were coming up with a name, I just said it to the members once, and we all liked it, and that's how it became a thing.
We played one gig here in my backyard, and it was great. We were going to play another one on Halloween, but it got canceled due to COVID.
The most memorable moment of that gig was when I got up there and I was like, wow, I'm actually up here in front of everybody. I never thought I would be able to do this.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't play in a band. It's just like weird to think if I didn't have a band, what would I do with all my time?
The members of Nerdneck changed me because they taught me to be more patient with myself and others, and they also changed my views of the world.
A lot of people think when they think of metal, you know, screamo, all that stuff, but that's not what metal is, right? We just go out there and we lay it all out and we have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Although Nerd Neck has not officially recorded any music yet, they do have a video of their first concert that you can find by going to YouTube and searching up Nerd Neck First Concert. They are also looking for a bassist, so anyone who plays or knows someone who plays can contact Andrew. From WAtv News, I'm Kenna Tolman.
I actually played electric bass guitar in 4th grade, so
nice.
I'm highly qualified.
Highly qualified?
To know everything about metal.
Yeah, I think Catherine's willing to do this, so you should definitely give her a call. I mean, I've never really listened to a metal band before. I don't really know music that well, to be honest, but you definitely seem to know what you're doing.
Should hit me up. Now let's get you caught up on the 4 things you need to know for the week. Number 1, tomorrow will be an off-campus learning day. Make sure you know what is expected from each teacher. Number 2, our chapel for the week is Tony Dentman. Number 3, the freshmen have an in-class field trip today as they celebrate their Pixar experience. Check in with them later and see what they created. And number 4, don't forget to check out our 30 Days of Thankfulness on our Instagram account. And remember to try to find your own joy each day.
For this week's Community Scoop, Mr. Thornton will be laying out vision and expectations. And following that, we will have Mr. Bolt speak to us before he closes our time in prayer this week.
That's it for Madison and I today. Thanks for joining us. Take it away, Mr. Thornton.
Good morning, Wheaton Academy. I'm coming to you today with 3 reminders as we head into the home stretch of first semester here. The first has to do with virtual learning. Virtual learning is designed for those who need to stay at home for a particular reason. And should you and your family elect for you to stay at home for an individual school day, even if you haven't opted in to virtual learning for an extended amount of time, we would ask that you have a parent call the front desk to notify us that you won't be physically present on campus. Should you choose to stay at home and not have a parent notify us that you're going to be at home, then it'll be recorded as an unexcused absence, even though you'll be present online, because we need to know your whereabouts from a safety and security standpoint. Secondly, as we're focusing in on dress code here, the word that I want to call our attention to again is the word professional. We want you to make professional choices when you show up to school. One of the things we've noticed is that we've gotten a little lax, particularly in our pants. We've seen far more sweatpants than we have ever before. And we need to reinforce that and refocus on the professional element of our dress code. Sweatpants are not allowed within our dress code, so please don't wear them. Also, we've also noticed students wearing more hats, especially as it gets colder outside. Keep your head warm when you're outside. We'd ask that when you enter a building, hats come off, masks go on. Those 2 areas, hats and sweatpants, are things that we need to double down on as a community and just focus in on. And finally, when it comes to eating lunch, we've given a lot of reminders about our expectations for lunch, and just want to highlight that for the most part, we're doing a really good job as we've moved inside for lunch. A couple notes of clarification. First, that glass hallway in the main academic building is off limits for people to eat lunch, so please find a classroom to sit in. Again, we want you in a chair because we know that those are 6 feet apart, especially as the masks come off and you eat. That's the safest distance at which to be for a mask to come off and consume lunch. And second, we've noticed that in the last 5 to 10 minutes of lunch, once the lunches are consumed, that has a tendency to be a time where people relax and start to mill or kind of mingle together, get close together within that 6-foot barrier. I'm just asking you to be vigilant about that once you're done eating lunch, you put your mask back on and still work to maintain social distancing, even in those last 5 to 10 minutes of lunch. Really appreciate you, Wheaton Academy. I'm excited for these next few weeks as we finish up the semester, and I'm going to send it over to Mr. Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Thornton. Well, I'll point out the obvious. Tomorrow is a big day in the United States. It's Election Day. In fact, in Illinois, it's a holiday from school. That's why we have an off-campus learning day. Now, there has been a huge buildup to Election Day in our country, and so many are saying this will be the pivotal event for the United States, for our future. Things may never be the same because of who will be elected. And many Americans have placed their hope in one man, and will be devastated if the person they are voting for does not get elected. I want to encourage you as a student body that our hope is founded in none other than Jesus Christ alone. And no matter what happens tomorrow in our presidential election or in any other election, our hope cannot be found in a human being. In fact, Philippians 2 verse 10 says that at the name of Jesus, every knee will bow and every tongue confess that He is Lord. He is Lord alone. So no matter who is elected tomorrow, Jesus will be sovereign. Jesus will remain squarely on the throne tomorrow, November 4, and into eternity. And that is our ultimate hope, no matter what happens with the election. You know, in previous years when we've had elections, there have been times where our student body has done really well, and there have been times where we haven't done so well. And it's really not doing well or doing well based on how we act on the days following election, based on the things that we say to each other. Now, when we come back to school on November 4, some of you will feel like you have won something. Others may feel like you have lost something because of how the election transpired. And I just want to encourage you, when you feel like you've won something, when you feel like you've lost something, to do so gracefully. We've all seen in athletic contests what winners and losers look like when they're graceful, when they win graciously, when they lose graciously, or when the opposite is true, when they're poor winners or poor losers. And I just encourage you, when you feel that sense of victory or defeat tomorrow and in days following, that you treat each other graciously, treat each other like they are indeed image bearers of God. Again, November 4, Jesus Christ will be Lord over all things. I want that to be the predominant thought in all of our minds as a school community. And I pray that we will honor Christ in the things that we say and in the things that we do in the days to come, no matter what happens in the election tomorrow. Will you join me in prayer? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.